Malone, I was in the top 3% of Post Malone listeners a couple of years ago, so Post also gets a run.
Nice.
Pick that, Gaz, would you?
What's going on here?
Righto, Simmo. I was just saying.
You got the Queen wave going. I know exactly what's happening there.
What is it? Are you a lip reader?
Yeah, I am actually.
Okay, what have you got for us?
Play your role.
It's late change, AFL 360 desk out Waitley in Simpson.
Just want you to make sure you check out the back there, Gaz. I mean, Jared might be tied up somewhere at the back there.
I've just had some breaking news. I'm not on the past players WhatsApp.
But it's from the 2000s.
99 I retired, so I've just missed the cut.
You let one in, Gaz, you let them all.
He's got the sunnies on his head, if you don't mind. Come on, man.
Last night I was with my people down there at the Australian Fashion Week.
This is not the first time the horses gone out a little bit of fashion. There's a show called Yellowstone. I flicked around and then I come across a new one, Longmire. And Longmire alongside Yellowstone.
It was my anniversary today, which I didn't realise. I got the arse on this day last year.
With sympathy running heavily for Simon Goodwin yesterday.
Yeah, I did text him, welcome to the SAC Coaches Club.
What did you actually call your club?
Coaches got the arse club.
Yes. Congratulations on being the Jock McHale Medal presenter.
You know I'm the bridesmaid. You know I was the second phone call.
I did get a phone call, Gaz, and...
They have so much shared heritage, and a lot of it played out here at the desk last year.
Did it ever? So much so they got 2 segments tonight. They've demanded another couple of segments.
Adam Simpson, welcome back.
Good evening, boys.
The Sydney A-listers gathered at the season launch, so of course that's where we find John Longmire, just to the side of the red carpet. Hello, Horse, welcome back.
G'day, good to see you. Good to be back with everyone.
As Simmo rightly pointed out, where's the sunglasses on top of your melon? It wouldn't be a bad place to put them at the minute.
Well, they're probably stretched a little bit from when I wore them last year. Brody Grundy stitched me up in absolute beauty, Gaz, so no sunnies this week.
Hey, I thought it was a great segment last year, and I thought we got close to all 4 of us. And I spoke to you, Horse, 6, 7, 8 times over the summer. I never heard from Adam once. Turns out he's had a 50th that Jared and I didn't get invited to, so that's a contentious issue. And you have been invited to. It might have been, by the sounds of it, a good job we weren't there.
Yes, Gary, and that's right, Jared. Sorry I didn't see you there, but I know what you're all thinking. You're all thinking that surely Simmo's 10 years older than me, but he's not. He turned 50 a couple of weeks ago, and it was a great night. And we spent, by the time you pay airfares and you got your cabs and your accommodation, and it was a $2,000 or $3,000 sort of turnaround. And Spider Burton was there. I think it cost him $5,000 from Perth. And anyway. We were a bit hungry coming around 7 o'clock at night, and we thought we'd get a good feed, but unfortunately, this is all we got. A couple of cold sausage rolls.
Come on, surely
That
not.
was the 4th serving of the... That's not true, and it wasn't.
I just expected a bit more. I was looking for the sushi, and I was looking for the. It's an expensive weekend, Adam.
Well, it wasn't really a 50th. It was just the past players, a couple of boys getting together. That's from start. And Horse got the 3 votes for the night.
Really?
He started fast. Couldn't get him off the phone later in the night. He looked a little bit worse for wear. I got a quick snapshot at the end of the night of the Horse. So it was looking a little dusty, but no, it was a good drink together.
Yeah, right, the boys have done a bit of work in the off-season, Jared.
This can't start already. I know it's a slow week, but we can't be doing this every week.
Start as you mean to continue. Right, the opening round and its place in Sydney. John, the boss has been there all week. You're a pretty good judge of the spreading of the gospel and the impact that's been had. Is this proving worthwhile?
I think so, Jared. I mean, the cut-through up here is vital. I mean, unless you've lived here for a period of time, it's hard to understand the concept of how competitive this sporting market really is. And, we've got a aggressive couple of codes that you're competing against all the time. There's the most number of sporting teams in the world, or professional sporting teams in the world, are here, and so it's a really competitive market. You need to do something a little bit different to get some cut-through, and what opening round has done has provided that, and it's been not only the game itself, which is going to be massive, but the build-up to the week, having Andrew Dillon here for the whole week has been huge for the code to be able to get some traction and really get AFL football front of mind for people here in Sydney.
Has it been good in his own way to push back against the bluster of Peter V'landys a bit?
Well, Peter's does a great job for rugby league. You know, whether it's racing or rugby league, he's very aggressive, very much out there, and has a real crack at things. And so to be able to to get some of that, I guess, talk back towards AFL football and to put our case forward, I guess, in a very competitive market is really important to be able to do. So just having him out here for the week, having the AFL Commission up here. Really important to be able to do that, and it just keeps the AFL football front of mind at the start of the season.
It's great that the campaign is on, and it's important that it's promoted. And the Carlton Footy Club is a mighty big footy club, and it needs propping up at times as well. So you've lent your expertise.
Wow.
I genuinely want to talk to you about this and the role that you have assumed there. I turned the television on last week and saw you in the coach's box. Now, I don't know if that's going to be a regular thing, but what is the task that you've undertaken with the Blues?
No, that won't be a regular thing. But I'm probably there. I'm there just to help Vossi be the best version of himself. So having a guy one out, one back, and an ear to lean on, I suppose, is my role, and help develop some of the assistant coaches as well. So there's more of a conversation around. Well, this particular night, I don't know how you found me there.
Shadowy figure.
But it was more the dynamics. So, for example, he's on the bench this year for the most part. What's the dynamics with the new coaching group in the box, and my experiences around how that works, and asking some questions that having someone outside the day-to-day process is where I can help out. So it's really not an on-field thing. It's more an off-field, people management, getting the best out of himself and making sure he stays aligned with his values.
How often are you at the club through the week?
It might be once or twice every couple of weeks. It might be once a week at the most, and it's normally off-site as well. So it's what I've noticed is the cultural piece. It's a very tight club, and from the changes they've made up top and around Vossi to the playing group, from what I've seen, they've had a good pre-season.
Is it too early to feel the outside figures who have always wielded power at Carlton or not?
I haven't felt any of that. And sometimes that doesn't reflect your on-field performance. So all you can judge at the moment, what I'm seeing, is what's happening off-field. And it's well connected. They're aligned and they're ready to go. So what happens on-field now is it's over to the players.
Star forward comes to Sydney. It's always been a reliable formula in your city, John. What are your early impressions of Charlie Curnow?
I haven't had a lot to do with him, Jared. I've seen him around the place and just had a real casual chat, just how you're enjoying the city. And from what I hear from him, he's just loving it. I mean, he loves his surfing and only being 10 minutes from the beach, as far as the Sydney Swans offices are concerned, it makes it, just a really good lifestyle for him. He really enjoys that part of it. He enjoys being able to get to work and training hard and going to the meetings and doing all that, and then being able to go about his business, which is, it's a common thread, I guess, from all of our players that move to Sydney. It's a common thread, but he's fitted in really well. He's really popular, good mates with all the players straight away, and so he's really looking forward to tomorrow night's game. It's going to be a beauty. I mean, obviously a bit of nerves attached to that, but it's a huge game for both football clubs, and he's going to be front and centre of it.
How do you go about coaching against him, both of you? A bit harder for you, Horse, and you might be privy to some stuff. But what do you expect the atmosphere to be like at the start as this game unfolds?
It's probably a bit old school to say we're going to put the bullseye. I mean, we've all had games back in the day when there's a bullseye on someone, and they're the target player.
Too obvious? They go the other way and ignore.
I've got no idea. I haven't spoken to
what would you do?
I'd let it go. There's some things that have happened that I've got no idea about. But from a playing point of view, this is a locker room thing. I don't think it's really from a club point of view and from a planning point of view. It's how do we stop him kicking 5?
Yeah.
But from a on-field relationship point of view, it's over to the players. But you wouldn't want it crossing the line to the point where you're taking your focus off the game.
I've heard both coaches. Chris Scott, I've had a bit of time with, who he wouldn't enter in any of this at all, whereas Kenny Hinkley would build 3 days worth of target practice on him in the lead-up. Which way do you think it'll go, Horse?
Well, it's interesting you mentioned Kenny Hinkley. We played Port Adelaide a few years ago, and I think Kenny, afterwards we found out, I think Kenny might have said to the players not to say anything to Peter Laddams. It was the first time that we'd played against Port with Peter in the team. And it actually went the other way. It was actually, I think he was expecting a little bit of fire and brimstone, but it went the other way. And so it's sort of a bit of a different tactic for him. So I think you got to know the sort of player, the person that Charlie is. I tend to agree with Simmo. I wouldn't be going near it too much and just letting things unfold naturally without necessarily building up. The build-up's big enough as it is. You probably don't need any extra.
Sydney, how do you see them, John? Gaz made the case a little earlier on as you studied the back half of their season when they were fully stocked, and it was far more impressive than the overall record looked. Do you expect them to come roaring back?
Yes, and to be short in an answer with that, I think that's what I expect them to do if they keep their best players fit. I mean, if the team stays fit and healthy like it was in the second half of the year and your best players are available, I think the talent's there. I mean, the first half of the year last year, we were decimated by injuries the first half, and when the better players came back in the team and played regularly in the back half of the year, the results were there and we came home with a wet sail. So most teams, I guess, if their best players are out of the team, it takes a little bit of gloss off. It's easy to say next person in, but those next players in aren't as good as the best players. And if you've got those best players out and there's a significant amount of them, the weight of numbers tend to tip the wrong way. And I just think if this pre-season so far, touch wood, the best players have been available for the Swans, and that's a good sign.
What's it look like, Simmo? Speed is king at the moment.
Yeah, I'm not a massive believer in the speed conversation that we can all play in different ways. But from a Sydney point of view, you've got to remember, and no disrespect to Dean, but Horse was a big figure, still is a big figure. But he finished up pretty late, post grand final. So this has been Coxie's full pre-season. It's his team now. I reckon coaches always almost at their best in their second year. They've established the culture and where they want to see things. So the next phase will be what do they do with this forward line, with Curnow, and we'll look at some vision here. And look, it's a very small sample size, to be honest. And I did notice when Warner and Heaney are forward, they'll go deep because of the rotations. You see Heaney back of Curnow there, and he'll play higher. So there's certain moments in the game where you'll see him up the ground like we did with the Blues. And then there's probably this next clip where it's a centre bounce, it's a pretty good clearance. I don't know if he had this supply last year. He's probably got 10 to 15 goals just through these types of plays where, as a forward, Gary, if you can get one or two of those a game where it's just put it right here for me, that's the benefit that he'll get.
Yeah, he wasn't getting that last year.
No, and the Blues, Horse, what have you seen with them?
Yeah, Simmo, there's been some shifts. If I just looking from the outside in, and one of the things we've seen is a little bit more purpose going into their forward half. Particularly, we talked about it last year in the segment, the launch pad, and they seem to be having a real concerted effort for that, and then to keep the ball inside 50 a lot deeper, those deeper entries, and coming from the back half, there just seems to be a lot more change of angles. There's shifting the ball around a lot, really making it harder to defend by taking the ball inside, shifting and getting it forward. So I think there's been it looks from the outside to be a real change, and it looks so far that it's been working across the pre-season. The players seem to be really enjoying that.
Now, I'm not privy to this type of part of the game plan, but you can sort of see here this back half transition. I think they did this pretty well last year, but failed to connect inside 50. So no doubt one of the marginal gains you'd think that the Blues are chasing this year is some of these connection pieces.
I think they took, the thing that interested me in that game was, say, Charlie goes out and what's it look like? They took 7 inside 50 marks in the first quarter in that game.
Yeah, right.
So that straight away says, OK,
yeah,
there's an opportunity here, not only for the kicker, but there's an opportunity for others that maybe once upon a time looked at Charlie, looked at Harry and said, it's not me. Well, now it is them.
Yeah, and it looks to be a bit more skill in that front half as well. So
right.
Delivering's important.